One take's all it takes. Here we go. Hector made his way up the mountain path. It wasn't an easy life as a knight of the kingdom of Zorthral, but he'd sworn an oath to the king, so he had a job to do. He just wished the job wasn't as daunting of a task as slaying the dragon. After a long, laborious climb, Hector arrived at the mouth of a large cave rumored to house a dragon. He mustered his courage and ventured forward with the torch into the darkness. Hector found himself in a wide cavern, far wider than what he expected. He could hear something snoring at the far side of the cavern. A great shadowy figure lay down across the way. A multitude of small, glittering gems lined the cavern floor. Perhaps this was part of the dragon's hoard? The king told Hector that the dragon had stolen a great amount of treasure from villages all across the kingdom. Once the dragon was defeated, Hector could arrange to have the people take the treasure back to the king. Then Hector would finally have been taken seriously as a knight. Hector tripped over a gem pile and fell forward. His torchlight went out as he dropped it, and he struggled to stand up. That's when a great shadowy passed over him. That's some good grammar. "What was that?" a tired voice said. A shadowy figure was now sitting upright. Hector gasped, and then immediately covered his mouth. But it was too late. A pair of angry green eyes glared at him through the darkness. "Who's there?" a voice demanded angrily. Hector held his breath as the figure rose up even higher, a shadowy arm to reach for something far ahead. There was a flash of light that forced Hector to shield his eyes. He heard something growling overhead, which made him shiver once again. Hector slowly lowered his arm and looked up. Before Hector stood the dragoness, and she was furious. She stood 100 feet tall and was covered head to toe in red scales. A massive cloth covered most of her body, but her wings and tail extended out. No matter where Hector moved, the dragoness' eyes were locked on him. "So, a little knight has made his way into my home," the dragoness said, and yes, that is her voice. Hector took a nervous breath as the dragoness stomped closer. Hector reached for his sword, but was struck across the side by the dragoness's hand. He crashed onto the ground, his blade slipping from his hands. She angrily scooped up and held him before her angry gaze. She squeezed her grip around Hector, making him cry out in pain. "It's really foolish for a little knight to snoop around a dragon's cave," the dragoness sneered. "You better explain why you're disturbing my rest." Hector muttered. The dragoness lifted him up to inspect his armor. Looks like the steel of Zarthral," the dragoness said. "I guess the king of Zarthral has sent you here. What's your name, little knight?"
It's Hector," he muttered. "Hector McGee."
The dragoness nodded. "Well, for the sake of having a polite conversation, my name is Vera." Hector was about to say something, but Vera squeezed him again. "Now, I'd like to know why your king sent you to pester me."
"Well," Hector stammered, "my king sent me to slay you."
"Slay me? On your own?" Vera snorted. "That's cute."
It's the truth,"
Hector said. "Oh, I believe you," the dragoness shrugged. "It's just that I find it ridiculous that your king would send you all alone."
"It was the task to prove my courage," Hector said. "I was to defeat the dragon that was planning to attack the kingdom."
"What? But I had no plans on attacking the Zorthralians," Vera snapped. "I was just relaxing in my summer home in the mountains."
"What?" Hector asked,
his eyes wide.
But my king said...
Wait a minute, Vera sneered. I just remember there have been reports of dragons being killed and their treasure hoards being pilfered.
Hector nervously muttered. All I know about is dragons being killed is,
You know something? Vera raised an eye, rigid.
It's just that my king is told that the Knights of Zythra, the dragons have stolen treasures from the countryside.
Vera gasped. She then immediately squeezed Hector yet again. So that's what's been happening, Vera shouted. The king of Zarthral has been killing dragons and stealing their hoards. Hector froze in suspicion. Could his king really have manipulated him and the other knights into killing innocent dragons? He's gonna pay for what he's done, Vera scowled. But first, I need to deal with you. Vera proceeded to pry away the bits of armor covering Hector's body. He shouted and begged for mercy, but the dragoness kept on scowling at him. Soon, Hector was reduced to his clothing. Vera lifted him over her head and let him dangle by his leg.
No, please,
Hector cried out. Vera opened her jaws wide and let him in. Hector landed on her tongue and was immediately thrown to the back of her throat. With one loud gulp, Hector was sent plummeting down to her stomach. All senses of dignity and the pride that Hector had left him as he landed in the stomach pool. The liquid didn't hurt him, but he frantically ran to one side of the belly all the same. He pounded on the squishy stomach wall.
Let me out of here, he screamed. Please, I beg you.
You can just stay in there for now, Vera's voice said all around him. I'll decide how to deal with you after my sleep. Hector felt the world shifting as the dragoness lied down. He was thrown against the stomach wall and sent sinking into the liquid. Hector continued pounding away against her belly. No matter how much Hector begged, the dragoness gave no response. He was trapped inside her belly, with no hope of escaping until she woke up. Hector just hoped she'd find it in her heart to forgive him for obeying his king's foul orders. Wow. What a story. If you like this story and would like to support my work, not my work, I'm just reading, I take writing commissions on my main page. You may also be interested in picking up one of my fantasy novels. I even have a Patreon. Now, please, guys, support this amazing author, as this video wouldn't have been without him. This was a pretty light. I literally just searched Dragon Vore and didn't even read it. Obviously, you guys could tell I made a few mistakes, but I just fucking read it for the first time, and you know, that's too vanilla for me. Next time, we're gonna get some more detailed action, if you know what I mean. This is not rated 18. No way. This video is not gonna be rated 18 up. It's not good enough. Ooh, let's look at some comments real quick before we go. Zanammer says, very interesting, as the guy dressed as a World War II German said in laugh in... Alright, we're gonna stop reading comments now because these comments make no sense. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. That was kind of fun, not proofreading it and just going in, and I made the dragon's voice a boy because I didn't realize it was a girl. That was pretty fun.